Well, hi, hey, howdy, hello. I think this thing is working again. Hadn't been working for a while out here. We'll see if it holds out. Happy day to ya, whatever day you're into. I am here as usual to check in with my body and let go of some stress. I think it looks like we'll be doing a little upper body stretching, as has been the case recently due to technological influences. Hopefully that's not gonna send you tumbling heels over head. But if it does, that's alright. It's good to play around heels over head fairly often. Oh, I forgot there's a guitar back here. Let's put Mrs. Stellar Yammerhammer over here for safekeeping for now. And get to some stretching, shall we? Hi. I'm feeling a little bit better today than I did yesterday, and that's always a fun thing to say, especially when it's true. I like to remind you there's not one right way to check in with your body and let go of stress. There's not one wrong way. There are many right ways and many wrong ways, but only you can know what's right for you. So I encourage you to listen to yourself, love yourself a little bit more, and mostly just take a little time to check in with yourself. Now that I said it was going to be an upper body stretch, let's start with the ankles. Yes, I'm still silly. I'm still just riding things out in the moment. Let's do some windshield wiper things. I just noticed that my camera will allow it. So it's a nice, this is my television watching pose. Although I don't have a place to watch television in this pose anymore recently, but if I did, and as I have in the past, I would recommend doing it like this, so you can engage those abdominal muscles, which is great for that low back pain. That's a frequent thing people ask me about. Oh, my low back hurts. Mine does too sometimes, but I tell you, the counterintuitive fix for that is strengthening the core, especially the abdominal and the hip flexor muscles. More about that in the future. For now, let's just shake off some of those cares and worries and stresses. Any of those hitches. Like to wiggle the shoulders back and forth, up and down, round and round. Kind of do a little wacky, wavy, inflatable arm tube woman and press on. Slow it down or get crazy with it, whatever feels good. I encourage you to try out more than one thing. How about 2 things? How about 4 things? Try out some things is what I'm trying to say. We did the ankles. Let's do the wrists. We'll start at the edges and come back into the core. How about that? Actually, I'm going to be engaging the core this whole time, but meanwhile, trying to relax the shoulders. Get into these hands and fingers. Got a fair amount of stagnation in there, so it's good to just get things moving, check in, encourage some movement. I'm going to add a little extra stretch. That's what I meant to say. Letting go of the stress, well, sometimes it helps to stress. Tension and release, right? So you add a little more stress by clenching something up and then relax. Although I don't recommend doing that if you're contending with the kind of pains that I am. You try it out, though. Maybe it works for you. I'm going to give that just a little bit of waking up all through the arm. Let's stretch out the other side. I know I'm not alone in overusing these poor things. Many different variations and varieties, but the bottom line is many of us are doing lots of little repetitive motions with some of our little bones, fingers and toes. So it's a good idea to stop and stretch. Let go of some stress. Rinse it off. Buck up. Just gonna give that wrist a little rubbing, and then the whole arm a little bit of waking up. Let's do a little more, bringing that stretch from the the distal regions into the bigger joints here. We'll do some shoulders and then maybe some hips, and then we'll bring it into the core. How's that sound for a plan? Just making things up as I go along, bringing this arm across the body. I think the lighting makes it a little tough to see, or the lack thereof, as the case may be. Circle that shoulder around, circle that wrist around, wiggle that shoulder around this way. Let's add a little twist while we're into it. Keep things twisted up. Coming back to center. Shake that off. Let's do the other arm. Bringing that arm across the body and wiggling that shoulder around. And the wrist around. And just loosening things up. Kind of following the body, just letting it know we're in this together. We're gonna get through it. One day we'll die, all the rest of the days we will survive, maybe even thrive. I vote yes for thriving. Give that a stretch the other way, and then come into a twist. Feels good. Let's do a little more twisting. I'm going to bring my right hand to left knee, left hand in close to the body, and twist with more intention from the center of the earth, up the spine, through the pelvis, through the center of the spine, through the neck, with the eyes and shoulders, giving all those organs a wringing out. And then unwinding from the top to the bottom. Eyes, head and neck, and shoulders and torso and pelvis. Come back to the center. Do some more wacky, wavy, inflatable arm tube woman. I'm taking my left hand over to the right knee and my right hand in close to the body. And then twisting through the pelvis, through the torso, through the shoulders, neck and eyes. Gazing behind me, see how far I can see. Using my hands for torque and support. Still trying to imagine myself rooted into the center of the earth and into the center of the sky. And then wringing out those organs in between, giving everybody a nice hug, a squeeze, healthy, wringing out, and then unwinding from the top to the bottom. Back to front and center. I get teased for doing this, so now it just makes me want to do it more. Every day I think I couldn't care less, and then I care a little bit less. Ooh. Yep. I care a lot. For the record, I hope you are caring and not caring as it suits you. Remembering to love yourself because you are worthy of your own unconditional love. Oh, let's do some core exercises, shall we? Let's just do a quick, so coming on to not on the sits bones, a little bit back from the sits bones. Hang on to the legs if need be. In fact, let's do a little stretching through the legs. Really, I'm engaging the core there, both in the hip flexors, the iliopsoas, and in the abdominal, more external muscles here. Trying to stay nice and long and strong through the upper body and through the lower body. It's a great strengthening exercise. Again, a great way if you're gonna watch the television or even some Netflix, if you got I think they used to call it a living room or a den, whatever, like some kind of space in front of a screen. I think a lot of people still have those these days, where you might play around with some core exercises. That'd be good for you. I like to play around on the floor often. I encourage you to do that as well. It's underdone, underappreciated. Underdone, they used to call that crudo. Let's come into a squat position. That's another playful and useful position. I got my paint pants on because I'm going to go work at my mom's here in a bit. But coming into a squat position, I don't think you can see in this terrible lighting, but pressing into those heels and then pressing my elbows into the knees. So opening the hips. Can add some good shoulder stretching there. Let's go ahead and come up into a standing position. That feels good. I've been sitting there too long. Let the head go, neck go, just give that a nice stretch. And then engaging the core, tipping the pelvis, pushing from the center of the earth, bottoms of the feet. Coming up nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Just checking in with the whole center. I'm going to give it a nice deep breath and counter stretch. Gazing up, pushing forward with those hips. And unlocking the knees. Let the arms swing. I'm going to get to it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being you and letting me be me. I'll be seeing you on the flip side. Ciao.